it back to Tobin. So go into the feet of Mori, and in fact Mori, surprising to himself as well, he can't believe it, that the decision went against him. Sydney United now try to break quickly. Zdrilic gets support from Bilokapic. Popovic now moving forward. Always an ominous sign for the other team when Tony Popovic moves in towards the penalty area like this. Lays it off to Bilokapic in short again. Sean Babic gets the left. Bilokapic with a shot and just past the post there from Paul Bilokapic. A good tidy build-up by Sydney United. Play switch from left to right and back to the left again. Finally the chance falling for Paul Bilokapic. And he got a lovely layoff there from Sean Babic. The shot past Jason Petkovic, wide of the mark. Trajkovski, Patikas. Trajkovski again. Jockeyed there by Mennillo. And Adelaide City can win the ball back now. That should be a Sydney United throw. It is. Bilokapic. Zdrilic. Square is Enes. The ball, though, played behind Enes. Hassell in there. And here comes Bradley Hassell again for Adelaide City. But once again, Velimir Kupresak timing his tackle to perfection. He really is a player who doesn't get the credit he deserves, Velimir Kupresak.
And having one of his top games tonight. Faultless display so far. Beautiful timed tackles. Intercepting the ball using all his experience to be able to read the game. And one of the star performers so far in this match.
Popovic now moving forward. And his pass finds Zdrilic. A touch off an Adelaide City player and off the post there. Still danger for Adelaide City. The shot coming in there from Zdrilic. And again the deflection, taking it away from the goal. So bad luck there for David Zdrilic. Sydney United going very close to the opening goal of the match. And as we look at the replay there, the first shot bouncing off the upright. And in there was Popovic to put the ball back in the danger zone. Zdrilic with a shot, and it was the head of Babic, in fact, who took it away. So Adelaide City, quite rightly, disappointed that the decision has been to award a corner, now to be taken by Milicic. Popovic up there and pushing, says the referee. As we look at the replay once again, the first shot from Zdrilic took a touch off an Adelaide City player onto the upright. And Popovic finds Zdrilic again, and his shot deflected away by Sean Babic. Enes, look at the space here for Trajkovski. He's in behind the defence. Cross towards the back post. Who's there for Sydney United? Patikas. And unlucky for Jimmy Patikas over the crossbar. He really had to stretch for that header, Jim Patikas. But this is going to be a productive avenue for goal for Sydney United. Trajkovski on the right with a cross. The idea was right by Patikas. He read the situation perfectly and just couldn't really get over the ball. For all their domination, they haven't scored yet. The crowd are now starting to get on their backs. And Adelaide City will try and make the most of that situation. Here's a run from Hassell, and the shot gets past Andrew Cruz, but good cover eventually from Mark Babic. Sydney United opened up straight through the middle there, and Hassell did well enough to get his shot towards the target. Mark Babic coming back in cover, retrieves the situation, but for the first time in the game, Adelaide City able to threaten that goal. Just over 5 minutes left in his first half. The long ball from Mark Babic, away by Tobin. Gibson, though, into the back of Jimmy Patikas. And Patikas holding his head there. John Gibson, the culprit, as we look at the replay here. And a card for John Gibson. Enes goes short to Popovic. In towards the feet of Sean Babic. The layoff for Popovic. Bilokapic now. And Lozanovski in there for Adelaide City. And the sliding tackle was a good one from Kupresak. Again, well-timed from Velimir Kupresak. Certainly one of the better players for Sydney United tonight, but Adelaide City take the throw quickly. Hassell, 1 against 4. Hassell's beaten 2 players here. He's into the box square is Mori. It must be a goal, and it is. Damian Mori has put Adelaide City ahead against the run of play. 5 minutes before the break. On one of the few occasions the visitors have been able to threaten that Adelaide City goal, and it was all down to the run of Bradley Hassell. A simple chance in the end for Damian Mori, his 17th goal of the season. Despair for Sydney United after dominating so much of the match. And it was the skills here of Hassell beating Kupresak, beating Popovic. He looked up, he saw that Mori was square, and the easiest of finishes for the top goal scorer in the league.
It's a funny game, football, as they say. The goalkeeper for Sydney United has touched the ball once. There's 4 defenders there. Sydney United have done everything all right, correct, the whole half. There's 4 defenders, 1 attacker. Quite amazing.
As Milan Ivanovic plays Jason Petkovic under pressure. In fact, Adelaide City have given away a corner. Ante Milicic now in the corner. Here is Kupresak in there for Sydney United. He just couldn't get over the ball there, Velimir Kupresak. A good chance, though, for Sydney United. Nice turn there by Milicic. And what a challenge it was between Mennillo and Robbie Enes. And Adelaide City now break quickly. Hassell again, upended in the box. No penalty, says the referee. A good clean tackle once again by Kupresak. Still Adelaide City with the ball. And that's a great cross there, finding the feet of Craig Foster. Mennillo, the provider. A great run by Foster late into the box. He got behind his man. It was Armour, in fact, with a cross. Foster with a run through. The volley, great save there by Andrew Cruz.
It's more like the Adelaide City of old. Good switch of play. Big question mark over some of the marking by Sydney United. But Adelaide City more in it, Mike, this second half. Sadly for them, one-way traffic in the first stanza. There's nothing like a goal in front and a victory in sight to get the confidence level up.
Adelaide City working hard, and no one working harder than John Gibson. Sydney United, though, on the rampage. Milicic off Mark Yates. Still the cross comes in from Sydney United. Babic in there, and there's a shot from David Zdrilic, equalising for Sydney United. What a goal, what a sweet strike there from David Zdrilic. The shot on the turn was taken very well, and applause from Branko Chelina. Relief, certainly, sweeping the ground as Sydney United get their just rewards. The goal coming just 5 minutes into the second half, and the scorer, David Zdrilic. The cross there from Trajkovski. The ball bounced nicely for Zdrilic, but that really is a good finish, John Warren.
Beautiful volley from Zdrilic, but let's give credit to the lead-up work. The cross, excellent one. It looks like a little touch on there as well. And not forgetting the work by Milicic in setting that move up initially.
Markovac, Enes, Milicic, beats Tobin. Good sliding tackle there by Lozanovski, still bouncing around there. Jumping for the ball was Zdrilic. Foster as well. Enes. Sustained pressure here from Sydney United. Looking for their second goal of the game, trying to edge themselves in front of Adelaide City. And Adelaide all of a sudden hanging on for grim death as Sydney United push everyone forward. Kupresak in there as well. Zdrilic, Enes, Kupresak back now, helping out his defence. Enes looks to make space for the shot. Good turn by Enes. Lay off by Patikas, away by Armour. And Mori now has the ball for Adelaide City. Look at this run from Milan Ivanovic. Good awareness here by the Socceroo. He's ridden the challenge of Markovac and found the run now of Foster. And in there is Mori off the crossbar by Damian Mori. What a lovely counter-attack that was from Adelaide City, and it was in many ways the awareness of Ivanovic which created the opportunity. Lozanovski, Hassell, Lozanovski again, watched by Bilokapic. Comes inside onto his left boot, chips the ball up towards Mennillo, and he goes tumbling. No foul, says the referee. Mark Yates winning the ball back, but Sydney United retrieve it again. Popovic, square to Enes. He beats Mennillo, and he turns away from Foster as well. Chipped up the line now by Markovac, finding Lamond. Lamond tries to take on Alex Tobin. Great timing in the tackle from Tobin. Here's Markovac. The tackle by Armour. Still Sydney United in the danger. Patikas with a shot, and that's a great save, but it's not enough to prevent it from going in the goal. So finally the drought is broken for Jim Patikas. What a moment for him. It's taken him 9 matches to get on the target, and in the end he delivers the goods, much to the delight of the crowd, and the smile says it all from Jim Patikas. The players are so happy that he's finally got himself off the mark, and he's played at the top level for 10 years, Jim Patikas, but that certainly would be one goal that he would savour. A good build-up on the right. Markovac, the substitute, involved. The ball broke well here for Popovic. The ball into space. He rode the challenge well, Jim Patikas. A hand on it from Petkovic, but not enough to take it away from the goal. So Jimmy Patikas puts Sydney United in front. The goal coming in the 64th minute. His first goal for Sydney United since returning from Greece. Of course, he did play for this club before. In fact, he left Sydney United in 1985 to join Ajax Athens in Greece. So at that stage, he'd scored plenty of goals for Sydney United. Here's a corner now for Adelaide City, taken by Mennillo. A great header there by Foster, and Adelaide City are back on level terms just a minute after going down. Craig Foster, who has worked hard all night, did ever so well with that header at the near post. A good rehearse move by Adelaide City, and an inquisition going on in that Sydney United defence. As we look at the goal again, Mennillo with the corner towards the near post. A lovely header there by Foster. Popovic, Zdrilic, Popovic again, scoops the ball over the top. Patikas in there, Yates in there, away by Armour. And again, the crowd appeal for a penalty. Patikas as well. As there is a foul at the other end of the pitch, Kupresak goes tumbling under the challenge of Hassell. We're now 6 minutes into stoppages, so plenty of time added on as Sydney United get another free kick. Again, Hassell the culprit. Play on, says the referee. Milicic with a shot, and just skimming wide of the post from Ante Milicic. Ever so close there. The Sydney United striker to giving his team a last gasp victory here. Shimmies, turns away from Ivanovic. The ball beat Jason Petkovic's dive, but also wide of the post. And that was, in fact, the last chance of the game. So referee John Fraser ends a pulsating match here at Denzel Park to give us a final scoreline of Sydney United 2, Adelaide City 2.
A good game, and Jimmy Patikas finally breaks his duck, Johnny. That's timely, I suppose, because we did discuss that point last week.
Maybe we brought him luck for a change. We usually put the mocker on people, but it was terrific to see. I think we all admire Jimmy, and no disrespect to Adelaide City. I think we're delighted to see him on the scorers list because he's really working at his game. And I think that is a good example for the rest of the team. It goes through all of Sydney United. They know they have a problem or problems in scoring, but everyone is really, the effort and the going into trying to solve these problems is very impressive, and you just sense that they're going to work their way out of this slump.
But you were at the game. I wasn't there, John, but I know that Robert Enes's performance caught your eye, and that's timely too because he's a fabulously talented player.
Yeah, a really cultured player. Not that he was man of the match or anything like that, but it just indicated that we're yet to see the best of this really talented player. He impressed me with his ability to strike at goal, with the nice individual skill. He impressed me with his work rate here, you'll see, and very economical disposal of the ball. And he has enough individual skill and vision to be able to firstly play the ball quickly like this, or secondly to be able in a tight situation to have enough individual skill to be able to evade the marker and either have a strike on goal or set up a creative. There's what I'm talking about there. The 1-2 pass with Jimmy didn't come off there, but he was without Gench in midfield, his partner there in this game. That's another example of how to keep possession of the ball in tight situations. And his ability to strike at goal like this indicates to me that we're yet to see the best of this player. And I think sometimes, Les, we overrate our younger players when they do well at young Socceroo level and they're real talents at that level, and come into the National League, we expect them to repeat that performance at National League level, perhaps because we underestimate the level of our National League and we expect the kids to come in, do what they did at youth level there. But there is a maturing process and Robbie's going through that. But some of the things he did in that game the other night indicate that he's on the way there.
The maturing process is important in that sort of player, isn't it? Because if he's that talented, that gifted, and he plays in a commanding role in midfield, he needs to recognise the fact that he is important to the team. That's happened to a lot of players who didn't realise that and didn't realise their potential.
He has, particularly that position, centre midfield. It really is the control room, if you like, of the whole team. But his great vision enables him to really give that economic disposal, as I call it, the least number of touches, and to be able to open the game up very quickly.
I agree with you. I think he's a fine talent. Back to Jimmy for a moment. The important thing about Jimmy Patikas is, from a broader standpoint, John, is that he's the first of the big-name overseas players who's come back. So we want him to succeed because we want to benefit from these players coming back.
As with Farina, and I think the big thing with Farina and Patikas is their professional approach to the game, that they have a problem, they're not hiding from it, they realise it, not Farina as much as Jimmy, and really worked hard at it. And I think that gives a good example to the younger players that success doesn't come very easily.
Did he play in a different role on Saturday?
I felt first half he played a lot deeper. Second half he tended to go forward. But the likes of Milicic and then Lamond coming on as a sub. But to Adelaide City, and they were very rusty to start with, not unusual for a team that's been without 5 of the national team players for so long. Don't write them off. There are a lot of signs that they're on the way back. Hassell involved in some good things, Foster involved. The defence with Ivanovic and Tobin led. Played a lot of the game under pressure and without the ball, but they were able to absorb it. So too early to write off Adelaide.